questions on that?
Just to be clear though, it's also not just between the mosquitoes and the Sandinistas. It's also with the CIA, that Contras.
Well, sure, that's one way to look at it. One of the the Mosquito Indians, one of the principal people that was being funded by the CIA was a man by the name of Fagoff, and from what I understand, Ward Churchill, I'm not sure what means his stance on him is, but Ward Churchill does not support Fagoff. He is more sympathetic to another man named Brooklyn Rivera, who basically rejected both. Well, at first was kind of indirectly receiving funds from the CIA, but then later said, no, this is kind of our battle, and wanted to actually reconcile the differences between the Sandinistas and the Mosquitoes, still fighting for autonomy and sovereignty for the Mosquito Nation, but not necessarily being counter-revolutionary. But since the Sandinistas were engaged in forced relocation, destruction of villages, some of the Mosquito Indians did take up arms against the Sandinista government. Does that address that? Yeah, well, and again, it's also, if you don't mind me pointing it out, I mean, obviously you didn't touch on him, which is a really good thing, because I think when A.I.M is connected to him, right? I mean, I can ask this as a question. Do you know what tribe Ward Churchill is? I think he calls himself Creek, perchance? Yeah, I know he has honorary. Yeah, no, there's the whole big debate as to whether Ward Churchill is an actual Native American or if he pretends to be. But I think that's an important question. I don't know. I mean, for all the corruption of, or the alleged corruption of the Bell courts, right? I mean, it's worth noting that Ward Churchill, the academic criticisms of Ward Churchill are ridiculous and basically just a smear, and I'm willing to admit that. But to what extent that he is, right, a white intellectual profiting off of the American Indian movement, I find troubling, and then also the fact that Russell Means, you know, worked with the CIA, because you can say for all those other people, oh well, they were indirectly, you know, supporting, but Russell Means directly worked with operatives on the ground. Yeah, well, I mean, the big thing, as far as I understand it, is he was running guns, and he directly ran those guns, which, if I'm not mistaken, were paid for indirectly by the U.S. government vis-a-vis the Iranians. So, I mean, do you think that there is something important about this split, or do you think that? No, I mean, I think it's, I definitely think it's important. As far as if Ward Churchill is an actual Native American or not, I can't say. I don't know. He still claims that he is, and there's, I mean, it seems like there are several tribal people that, well, sorry, there are several Native Americans who do think that he is a spokesperson for them. Obviously, there's some that don't, so I don't know. Fair enough. Yeah, that's not a huge thing. Anyone else?
As like a real quick side note, you mentioned Grassy Narrows.
Yeah.
And the group that I went to Iraq with, CPT, they actually, I mean, they have a couple different projects around, like in Colombia and Palestine, things like that. But one of their projects that they had going for a long time was in Grassy Narrows, helping out with blockading the roads.
Cool.
And so I just like learned a lot about that just from people from CPT who helped out with that stuff. And they would just sit out in the freezing cold in the winter, build a fire and blockade these roads along with, you know, the residents. And they had, in Grassy Narrows, there was a lot of problems because there was a lot of land there that they would still hunt and fish, the native communities. And remember, one of the big problems is there's a big factory, like a paper factory or something like up the river that was dumping, like, I don't remember the metal or mineral that they were dumping in the water, but it just totally polluted the rivers and the lakes that they would, you know, use to fish and all that. So there's not only theft of land, but, and cutting, a lot of clear cutting of like, you know, the trees and stuff in the area on their land, but also like, you know, just, you know, poisoning the water, things like that, that cause a lot of problems for the native communities there, so.
Yeah.
That's a side note.
Eco-racism, right? Anyone else? Great.
So do you have any, at this moment, concrete plans, or to start, basically these struggles up again? Do you have any recommendations or what activists should do to help support these struggles? Anything like that?
Not sure yet, still working on it.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna hit the video since I have 2 minutes of battery power left.
We'll call it good then.
Yeah, let's give him applause.